What I'm pursuing is much bigger than me. And that is to flat out just rip the doors down and make more opportunities for Indian country. I wanted to see better representation of us in the media today.
We're just like a family unit. We spend a lot of quality time together. We joke around. We do a lot of laughing and stuff. Just wonderful people. Can't beat it.
Never forget where you came from and who you are. We have a lot of good, powerful, strong voices out there. Truly believe in yourself, believe in your business. No matter what anyone else says, if you have that belief, you're going to definitely succeed. How's everyone doing today? Res 2023! Woo! Right? Come on, we can do better than that. Res 2023! Look around the room. Look at each other. This is your circle. This is your group. These are your relatives. These is your family. It is we. It is we. It is not I. It is not me. It is we. A successful business begins with community support. A healthy community begins with a successful business. Remember that. We are few, but our hearts and our minds are big. They are big. And let no one ever take that away from us. We are warriors. We are warriors in every aspect. We are resilient in every aspect. And we are a people full of effort. Full of effort. Remember that. We need to stop being like this. And we need to come together like this. That's how it begins. Set aside the labels, set aside the petty little differences that we may have that are probably more than likely not real, and come stand side by side again as our ancestors have. And I promise you, we will be a force again. It is time, because there's no more future. It is now about now. There may not be a tomorrow. It is about now. And that now begins with each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. You are all beautiful people. You're very beautiful and you're very successful. Already you're taking a step towards success by being here at Res 2023. Thank you. I better calm down and sit down because we have some amazing folks that are going to be coming up. And I'm sorry, y'all just get me all fired up. And so I want to welcome our panel today. Our tribal leaders and tribal representatives, wherever you may be. Cartwheels, I told them cartwheels. Let's see if they do it. I was going to do a cartwheel, but I didn't stretch out before I did. Come up here. There they are. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Lowe.
Thank you, Marshall. So I'd like to say welcome to each and every one of you. Before we begin, if you would all like to just introduce yourselves to the audience, and
sure,
then we could begin with questions.
Hello, everybody. My name is William Lowe. I'm the speaker of the Muscogee Creek Nation. I'm on the board of the National Center, a Marine Corps veteran, and a boarding school alumni. Mille for having me.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm Melissa Darden. I'm the first tribal female chairwoman for the Chitimacha tribe in Louisiana. I'm currently in my third term, ready to go for another term, and thank you.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pierite. I'm the chairman and CEO of the Tunica-Biloxi tribe of Louisiana, chairman of the board of Mobile Loans, chairman of the board of the Economic Development Authority, founder and president of the Pierite Group, and founding member of Tribal Communications and Tribal Solutions Medical. And it's great to be here with these great leaders this morning and all of you.
Bonjour, Anina Nishnabe Duke. Mino Gijigad Nungum, Mandamin Indigenous Cause, Melanie Benjamin. It's an honor to be here today, and I want to send greetings out to everyone that's here.
Well, we're going to begin with the first question. We'll like to start down there with Miss Benjamin and then work our way across. This is a two-part question. We look to our tribal leaders to lead and support us as a unified community. Every tribal community is unique with different economic structures for each tribe. What is the top initiative in which you provide support to your community members? And what prompted this initiative?
When I took an oath of office, we said that we would always support the general welfare of our tribal members. And so everything we do is to support our tribal members. But one of the unique things we wanted to do is also establish a Mille Lacs tribal economy. And when we thought about that, who does that encompass? Not only our tribal members, but the community around the reservation as well. And we have lots of programs to support our membership in health and education, scholarships, natural resources, cultural, all of these responsibilities that we have. But we also ventured out into the economic development world where we established a Mille Lacs tribal economy. We wanted to include everyone that was there. So we have 4 lanes, and it's gaming, it is hospitality, it is the Mille Lacs tribal economy, small business that are within, and also government contracting. So we wanted to provide the opportunity across the board. And one of the big issues that we noticed is that there's such a shortage in housing. And we live in rural Minnesota, 100 miles from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and many of our employees come from at least 50 miles away. So what we found out is that 72% of our employees live somewhere else and not close to the reservation or our businesses. So we did a big initiative to provide workforce housing. And that means housing for all, not only our tribal members, but also our employees. We wanted to make sure the people that clean the hotel rooms, that provide services to our elders, that work at our clinics or grocery stores, whatever that is, that they had a good quality opportunity for housing. And that's one of our initiatives that we did, making sure that we provide that opportunity. And we currently have Lady Luck Estates in Hinckley, Minnesota. We have Red Willow Estates that's about 50% done. And then we have Maple Sugar Crossing that's being done as well. So that's a big initiative that not only does it support our tribal government, but it also supports community development.
Marshall?
Yes. What is really established a vision that's way greater than any one of us, way greater than the Tunica-Biloxi tribe. It's all about positioning and posturing all of Indian country to be the solution to a lot of America's problems. And the way we can reach that is to do everything. One is to create that vision. And once you talk about the vision and understanding that a vision is not about what you see, it's about what you do with what you see. And it's about building bridges of collaboration, cooperation, and compassion throughout all of America, finding the skill sets, meshing them together, empowering each other, inspiring each other, and encouraging each other to do more. But again, it goes back to that one purpose, and that purpose is to do everything on purpose, for a purpose, and with the purpose. And that purpose should be one thing: the love of your people and the love of the community. And loving the community is understanding the why in community. And the why is to making sure that our children can see the same things we can see. Our children can do, giving them the hopes to dream again, to believe again, in order for them to live again. And that is one of the things Tunica-Biloxi is working on through agriculture, food sovereignty, food security, bringing advanced manufacturing back to the United States, focusing on mental health. And again, that vision is inclusive of all of Indian country, and it's through the unity of Indian country where that vision can be accomplished.
Thank you. Melissa?
Well, with the Chitimacha tribe, we have various programs to help our tribal members. We have our clinic, which we want to make sure that all our tribal members are healthy, and we provide scholarships for education, because you got to be healthy, you got to be educated, so you can come back and further the tribe in the future. We do government contracting. We have our casino, and we have a market that supplies all the staple foods and things that we need for the reservation, and hopefully one day that we can actually be self-sufficient. And so that's what we kind of strive for. We've got our cultural department that looks into different things to bring back our old ways of our culture, because everything was pretty much lost when all the French and the Spanish came in. So we're still trying to revitalize everything to have our heritage back.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. At the Muscogee Creek Nation, we have a lot of programs. As I mentioned, I'm a boarding school alumni. We have programs from kindergarten to the doctorate program. We have education support. We have our boarding school. It houses 60 children during the school year. Oh, wow. So it's a phenomenal school. We do tutors and educate the young ones as they're there. They go to the city school. During the pandemic, we actually bought a Tulsa Cancer Center that was going out of business. And, for us, it provides specialty care for not only our citizens, but the community. So our 3 major hospitals, they're community hospitals. So not just open for Muscogee Creek or Native citizens, it's open for the whole public. So I would also say we have the College of Muscogee Nation. That's a great program that educates our citizens, and they have about 265 enrolled students right now. I mean, it's phenomenal. We have a Muscogee Loan Fund program, so we help young entrepreneurs or old entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter, but we help everyone, of course. And lately, they've really gotten into the agricultural side of business, so it's really phenomenal to see that. And one last thing I would say, and we purchased some property in a food desert where we put together a meat processing plant during the pandemic. And so now all those citizens there, they're not having to drive several miles to go find food. And we're able to, raise the cattle and harvest them on our property and put them within our meat processing plant. So those are some of the things we have going, sir.
We mentioned how each community has its own unique economic structure. What does your tribal business structure currently look like, and how do you see it transforming in the next 5 years?
For the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, we operate under a division of powers that most understand: executive, legislative, judicial. And within the executive branch, we have a corporate politic body, and that's where our economic development responsibilities lie within there. So the goal was to keep the politics out of the business decisions. They didn't want me as the tribal chairman coming over them to tell them how to run business, who to hire, not to hire. So I have no authority in that. They have their own board of directors, and we're doing a really good job in terms of that and how we're providing economic development for the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, or the Mille Lacs tribal economy, because it encompasses just our whole community as a whole. And like I mentioned, we have 4 lanes that we operate our economic development in. It's gaming, hospitality, government contracting, and small businesses within the Mille Lacs tribal economy. And so that gives us the opportunity to do some diversity. And all the tribal leaders before me talked about, we need to make sure that we protect our band and generate opportunities in terms of capital and resources. And this structure has been very successful for the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe.
Thank you.
As far as Tunica-Biloxi tribe, we're a gaming tribe. 12 years ago, we entered into the small dollar lending space. And I know a lot of people doesn't like the idea because they automatically associate it with predatory lending. But the reason why the Tunica-Biloxi Nation decided to get into the small dollar lending space is because we wanted to challenge and change the industry. And challenge and change the industry is what we did. The second year of operation, we created a financial literacy program. Third year of operation, we created a credit restoration program. By year 5, we rolled out what is called out of a never-ending debt cycle for all of our consumers, regardless of where they lived, and help them build their credit along the way. And by year 6, we allowed them to transition into traditional banking. So what we did with your consumers that was lacking as far as the FICO scores, within a 2-year period, we showed them they can create and control their own financial destiny if they work the program through financial literacy, credit restoration, the out of the never-ending debt cycle, and the transition to traditional banking. Also, we were just certified to do 8A. We just got our 8A certification, and I mentioned about earlier advanced manufacturing. And creating a food security program. But what is lacking is the labor force. And one of the things Tunica-Biloxi is taking the initiative or taking the lead in creating a partnership with the U.S. Department of Labor and the state of Louisiana to create workforce development, job training opportunities for the entire South. Because one thing tribes can offer that corporations and companies cannot is living wages versus minimum wages, access to, because of the taxes of status, access to benefits that companies or corporations will not or think about going into, as far as free daycare, access to health care, access to pharmacy, access to financial literacy, credit restoration, and through strategic partnerships or joint ventures with mental health companies to create mental health campuses where we have advanced manufacturing or any other type of opportunities.
Thank you.
And with the Chitimacha tribe, we currently, all of our enterprises that we have, they're set up and work directly under the tribal council. They're all set up as LLCs, which is a big downfall. Like she said we're in the process of getting a tribal development corporation set up so that we can keep all the politics and tribal government out of your everyday business, because it has a big stop sign on it, and a lot of individuals think that they can just go in there and go into the individual businesses and tell them what they need to do, and it doesn't work like that. We have people in place for that reason. So that's the purpose of getting a tribal development corporation, so that it'll take all of that out of there.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yep. For us at the Muscogee Creek Nation, we have a comprehensive annual budget. I would say gaming's a pretty big player in that. They fund quite a bit of our annual budgets, but we also have healthcare. We're into third-party billing, so that's done some wonders for our tribe. We have the Muscogee Loan Fund, and I would say all of our small businesses and even our gaming board, they're their own independent LLC. So that keeps, as everyone's talking about keeping the politics out of the decision-making, that actually helps our independent boards move and gain business and do things properly. So, we have that, and we have a tremendous workforce program for, a reintegration program for those that have served time. They have a house reintegration program, a homeless veterans program. I mean, it's just phenomenal work that my tribe is doing right now.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rowan. Building and/or determining trusting relationships with non-tribal business partners can sometimes be a tricky situation. In 2 minutes, can you tell me, how do you as tribal leaders build those relationships?
I think at the end of the day, we're all looking for the same thing, and that's the good life. And coming together as a community, and again, the Mille Lacs tribal economy, that you have the opportunity to look at best practices of current businesses. How can that expertise be utilized to make things better for us on the reservation? And I did want to mention that just about 2 weeks ago, we were awarded $11.4 NCAIED broadband grant. That means that we'll be able to get the fiber, about miles and miles and miles of fiber. And many of the tribal leaders know when you live in rural communities that broadband access is really touchy at times. And so we'll be able to, we partnered with the local communications company for that. We didn't know if we were, or had the capacity to actually do a project of this size, but we said if we don't play in a game, how do we know if we're gonna win? And and I wanted to give a shout out to one of the staffers here. Her name is Beth Gruber, who works for the corporate arm. And she was the one that headed that program. And so we'll be able to link up our homes, our businesses. And we live in 3 different counties. So there's 1,000 miles there. And so that's hospitals, all the people, even in during pandemic, we really found out that we didn't have the access, and our kids fell behind because they didn't have the broadband access. Telehealth was not available to some of our elders that need this, so we're really excited about this program. And here's an example how when you partner with one of the local businesses, that good things can come out of it for all.
Yes, being in a rural community, partnerships is a must. And the best approach is to position yourselves as the solution to your state as well as your surrounding community, and allow your tribal sovereignty to be the master key to those opportunities. And these partnerships will come. And one of the things about these partnerships, you cannot rule them out. Just as money is the currency used in this economy, faith is the currency used in the kingdom of God, partnerships is the currency you gotta use in building an economy.
And we do a lot of partnering with the local and state representatives. And that's one thing. Once a month, I sit down with all the local and state representatives and we have a lunch. It's a once a month luncheon. And it's good communication, know what everyone's doing, and we all update one another on what's happening in each one's community and what can we do to help each other grow.
You know, for us in our local partnerships in Muscogee Creek Nation, I mentioned we bought that cancer treatment center. It's called Council Oak Hospital for us. So that really opened a great partnership with Oklahoma University Medical Center. So we work well with those doctors. We've done some partnerships with the city of Tulsa in a low water dam project. So if you've been to our casino, our river's always really low because it's, you know, except we don't get too much rain in the summertime, but yet that low water dam will put that water in there so they'll be able to do some recreation out in the water. And I would say since the McGirt decision, our Light Horse police officers have really tried to partner with all the local police forces on cross-deputization agreements. It's not so easy, but they've done really well so far. So that's our outside partnerships.
Well, our time is winding down, but I do want to ask this question, and if you can quickly give us a quick run through on it. What opportunities are you taking advantage of for your community regarding both alternative energy and traditional energy?
Excuse me. We're looking at, solar. And we just completed a solar project that's just on the outside of one of our casinos in Hinckley, Minnesota, where there's over 300 panels. And so to have the opportunity for solar to lessen some of that other energy, and again, partnerships with some of the local folks. And my throat is a little dry here, and apologize. But a lot of exciting things when you look at what that alternative energy can do for your businesses and your homes.
Thank you.
We are looking at solar energy wind farms as well as being from Louisiana, also the oil and gas space. And we're extremely excited about all three, in particular the solar, because it can be real opportunity for the one who find the way to recycle the solar panels. And I think through our strategic partnerships, we are going to be the one. Thank you.
Thank you.
And oil and gas, that's a major component in Louisiana. That's what we are. But for us, we haven't set our goals on any one thing. We have looked into solar panels, and so far things just didn't work out, but we are actively looking at other resources to see what we could implement with the tribe.
Wonderful.
You know, for us, the weather in Oklahoma is very unpredictable. So I talked to a lot of you here and you said it's so windy there. And then some of you have been there in the summer where it's hot and humid. And some of you have been through earthquakes and tornadoes there. So for us, you know, we utilize a partnership with a lot of our local technical schools. We sent some students through compressed natural gas programs. And since I've been here, I actually met our new oil and gas department manager. So those are some of the things we have going on, sir.
Wonderful. Thank you. How do you provide educational support within your community for your community?
Well, when I think about my community, there's such a wealth of talent there. And we've been told that each of us have a gift. So it's our responsibility to bring those out. And then when I'm looking for new initiatives, I always go to the people. And we have our elders that have that cultural knowledge that can guide us in some of these areas, making sure we don't cross the line in a way that's going to impact us in a negative way. And the youth, I mean, the youth have all these wonderful ideas and what they want to see. So that's very important to me.
And at Tunica-Biloxi is very similar. 3 years ago, we created our Elders Council as well as a 7th Generation Youth Council. And it's through that education and advocacy, they are part of the planning process, because you cannot plan for your future without the younger generation there helping you to shape and mold that same future. Because every decision that is made today, they're going to have to live in it tomorrow. And our job as leaders is to ensure every child tomorrow is better than theirs today.
For education, we actually have a scholarship program where all of our children, they come in and they fill out their application and things like that. But we provide scholarships for them to go off and go to college. And in return for that, they have to come back and do community service hours. You have to come back to the reservation to know who you are, where you come from, and they go through a little cultural class in the beginning, so that, because some kids, they've never been to our reservation. We have people all over. And so that's the first time they ever set foot on a reservation, to know what their heritage is. So that is one good thing, because they come in and they learn, and with the hopes that one day they're going to come back educated, full of knowledge, and help grow the tribe.
Okay.
At the Muscogee Creek, we have a great education department that does amazing work for not only our young kids, but our graduate students as well, doctorate programs. Like I said earlier, when I first started talking, it was, we have programs from kindergarten all the way to doctoral programs. Our education group has 11 programs, sub-programs that help all of our students, college, high school. We have a scholarship foundation program that's just does amazing things. For me, like I said earlier in my introduction, I was a boarding school graduate and utilized my tribal funding to get, my undergrads and an MBA at Grand Canyon University. So I always thank education every time I pass their doors for helping me out as a citizen. So.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for Chairwoman Melanie. Chairman Marshall, Chairwoman Melissa, and William Lowe. Real brief, if you had to give only in 5 words advice to our young entrepreneurs, what would those 5 words be?
Compassion, respect, integrity, truth, and love.
Yeah.
Instead of 5 words, 9 words. Do not let anyone talk you out of your destiny.
Yes. Yes.
I would say do not be afraid to think out of the box. It's okay to partner with others that have more knowledge in what, you're not perfect in everything, or you don't have the knowledge for everything, so it's okay to have a partner to guide you.
I would say always do the right thing, and for my fellow Marines in here, simplify.
Simplify.
Simplify. Do you believe that tribal unity is something very important?
We as a people get our strength from each other. So tribal unity is of very high importance. Yes.
I fully agree with the comment you mentioned. It's not about I, it's about a we. And as a great civil rights leader once said, when you take illness when you take the I out of illness and replace it with a we, even illness become wellness.
Yeah, there you go.
I think community and building relationships and just working with not just our tribe, all tribes together as a whole.
I feel tribal unity is extremely important, and I can feel it all throughout this room, so thank you all for being here.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank each and every one of you for your great leadership. And let's continue to work hard together. Thank you.
Thank you.